Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now, on to the latest news. A warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail! The story coming out of Glasgow this week has taken everyone by complete surprise, and I mean absolutely everyone, from the pundits on the television to the fans who queue up outside Parkhead every Saturday. Word is spreading like wildfire that Celtic Football Club, are on the verge of pulling off the most extraordinary signing in their modern history. A deal so shocking that even the most optimistic supporter would have dismissed it as pure fantasy just a few days ago. The name on everyone's lips is Neymar, the Brazilian superstar, the forward-turned-midfield orchestrator, the samba magician who has thrilled audiences in Barcelona, Paris, and most recently back home with Santos. The very idea that he could be walking through the gates of Celtic Park feels like something taken from a dream rather than reality. Yet sources close to the deal whisper that conversations have advanced further than expected, with Celtic's hierarchy moving mountains to position themselves as the unlikely winners of this transfer race. It is said that Neymar, now in a different stage of his career, is seeking not only a fresh challenge, but also a stage where his personality and flair can inspire a passionate fan base. And who better than the Celtic faithful? Fans around the city have already started debating whether this move makes sense, and the opinions are flying in every direction possible. On one hand, Neymar remains one of the most marketable and recognizable names in world football, capable of changing the financial outlook of any club he joins, and Celtic would instantly see their global profile rocket to new heights if the Brazilian donned the green and white hoops. On the other hand, there are doubts about whether Scottish football can provide him with the level of competition and glamour he has been used to throughout his glittering career. Yet, those who know the player best insist that money or glamour are not the key motivators this time around. They point to his desire for legacy, his hunger to be remembered not just as a skillful dribbler, but as someone who lifted teams to levels beyond their expectations. Imagine Neymar running out on a cold, windy night in Glasgow, the crowd roaring, the Champions League anthem echoing through the stadium, and suddenly the pieces start to make a little more sense. This could be less about logic and more about passion. The reports suggest that Celtic's board, often criticized in the past for being too cautious with their investments, have identified this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to break through the glass ceiling that separates Scottish football from Europe's elite. The Scottish Premiership, for all its history and rivalries, has struggled to keep pace financially with England, Spain, or Germany, but Celtic's allure remains powerful because of its tradition and fan culture. By bringing Neymar to the club, they will be making a statement not only to Rangers, their eternal rivals, but to the entire footballing world that the green and white hoops are ready to compete for global attention again. This is about rewriting narratives, tearing up the usual script that Celtic are underdogs in Europe. The whispers indicate that Neymar's camp has been impressed by the club's project, the idea of building around him as the marquee figure who could guide young talents and bridge the gap between the Scottish game and the continental stage. If true, then the board's boldness might just pay off in ways beyond trophies, reshaping the very image of Celtic internationally. Meanwhile, in Brazil, the news has caused waves of disbelief among Santos supporters, who only recently welcomed Neymar back as the prodigal son returning to his roots. They had hoped he would stay long enough to spearhead a revival for the club, perhaps even lead them back to continental glory in the Copa Libertadores. For them, the idea that their idol could once again leave, this time for the rain-soaked pitches of Scotland, feels almost like a betrayal of their dreams. Yet, those closer to the player argue that Neymar never promised permanence, only a period of reflection and transition before deciding his next big move. They say he views his time at Santos as restorative, a chance to reconnect with his footballing essence, free from the relentless pressure of European giants. If Celtic truly are the next destination, then Neymar could be ready to carry with him not only his individual brilliance, but also the sense of freedom and creativity rediscovered in Brazil, transforming the Scottish stage into his next artistic canvas. For Celtic fans, the prospect of Neymar arriving feels like a return to the days when their club regularly signed players of genuine world-class pedigree. Supporters still sing about Henrik Larsson and recall the moments when European giants feared a trip to Glasgow. Neymar's signing could inject that same aura of fear and respect, reminding everyone that Celtic are more than just domestic champions. Pubs around the East End of Glasgow are already buzzing with speculation, pint glasses clinking to the sound of wild predictions about what Neymar could achieve in Scotland. Some dream of him tearing apart Rangers in an Old Firm derby. Others imagine him dazzling Europe under the lights of the Champions League, while a few skeptics caution against getting too excited until the ink is dry on the contract. Whatever the stance, one thing unites the fan base right now: sheer disbelief that such a rumor even exists. It has breathed fresh energy into conversations about the club, uniting older fans and younger supporters in a shared sense of wonder and anticipation. The broader football community is watching with raised eyebrows as journalists across Europe try to confirm the legitimacy of these whispers. Some dismiss the story as clever PR, a tactic to distract from more routine transfer business, while others insist there is genuine substance to the claims. The fact that multiple sources from South America to the UK have reported similar details gives the rumor an unusual sense of weight, making it harder to brush off entirely. There's also the undeniable reality that Neymar has often surprised the football world with his career choices, and a move to Celtic would fit that pattern of unpredictability. Just as few expected him to leave Barcelona at his peak for Paris, even fewer would have predicted him swapping Santos for Scotland in the latter stages of his career. Yet here we are, talking about it as though it could genuinely happen. And maybe that's the magic of football, its ability to make the impossible feel tantalizingly possible, if only for a moment. If the rumor does turn into reality, one of the most intriguing aspects will be how Neymar adapts to the style of football in Scotland, which is known for its intensity, physicality, and often unforgiving weather conditions. Gone are the manicured lawns of Paris or the sun-drenched stadiums of Rio. Here the pitches can be heavy, the tackles relentless, and the game's unpredictable in a way that forces even the most talented players to prove their resilience. Yet there's also a charm to this environment, one that has historically tested and toughened players who thrived on character as much as on flair. The Scottish Premiership may not carry the glamour of the Spanish La Liga or the English Premier League, but it offers a stage for those willing to embrace its grit. Neymar's creativity, vision, and ability to conjure magic from nothing could be the perfect antidote to the rugged defenses he will face. Imagine defenders from Livingston or Street Mirren trying to keep up with the Brazilian's footwork on a rainy Wednesday night. It could create the kind of theater Scottish football has been craving, the balance of art and battle that captivates fans beyond borders. From a tactical perspective, the idea of Neymar playing in the heart of Celtic's midfield opens fascinating possibilities for the manager. He would not necessarily be asked to hug the touchline as he once did in Spain or France. Instead, he could take on a deeper, more central role, dictating play, unlocking defenses, and allowing Celtic's younger attackers to shine around him. Supporters already picture him linking with wingers darting down the flanks, or picking out a striker with a perfectly timed through ball that slices open the opposition. This could signal a stylistic evolution for Celtic, pushing them towards a more possession-oriented game built on flair rather than pure physical dominance. The idea of Neymar leading the team in Europe, orchestrating attacks against the likes of Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, adds another layer to the fantasy. For the manager, this would be both a blessing and a challenge, requiring a careful balance between maintaining the team's identity and maximizing the superstar's unique gifts. It is one thing to bring Neymar into the squad. It is another entirely to build the system around him so that his magic can flourish consistently. Financially, the move would be seismic. Celtic are no strangers to large crowds and passionate support, but Neymar's arrival could elevate the club's commercial profile, to levels rarely seen in Scotland. Shirt sales would skyrocket, not just in Glasgow, but across Brazil, Asia, and North America, markets where Neymar remains a global icon. Sponsors who once saw Celtic as a regional powerhouse would suddenly recognize them as an international marketing force. Broadcasting deals, media coverage, and even ticket demand could reach unprecedented peaks, forcing the club to rethink its infrastructure to handle the sudden influx of attention. Critics argue that such hype could overwhelm the institution, but others see it as a golden ticket to modernizing the club's operations. The board might be risking a hefty financial commitment, but the potential returns, both tangible and intangible, could far outweigh the gamble. Neymar's brand, combined with Celtic's historic identity, would create a unique fusion of tradition and stardom, perhaps even encouraging other top players to consider Scotland as a serious destination. For a league often overlooked, this would be nothing short of revolutionary, a transformation driven by one signing. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Of course, not everyone in the football world believes this would work smoothly. Skeptics point to Neymar's injury history, questioning whether his body can withstand the relentless nature of the Scottish game. Others raise concerns about his off-field lifestyle, suggesting that the temptations and distractions of celebrity could clash with the focus demanded by Celtic's culture. Rival fans have already taken to social media, mocking the rumor as laughable and accusing Celtic supporters of living in a fantasy world. Yet, within these doubts lies the intrigue that keeps this story alive. Neymar has always thrived when people questioned him, turning criticism into fuel for his performances. A move to Scotland could be his chance to silence those who doubt his motivation, to show that he still has the hunger to compete and the determination to lead a team to glory. If he were to succeed, the narrative would shift dramatically, portraying him not as a fading superstar, but as a bold pioneer who dared to step into an unexpected chapter and made it unforgettable. Sometimes, the most unlikely stories are the ones that endure longest in football folklore. The impact on the Old Firm rivalry cannot be overstated. Celtic versus Rangers is already one of the fiercest, most emotionally charged derbies in the world, with passions running high and the entire country coming to a standstill whenever the two meet. Now, picture Neymar stepping onto that stage, the atmosphere electric, the tension palpable, and every touch of the ball scrutinized by millions of eyes worldwide. Rangers fans would relish the opportunity to see their side test themselves against a global superstar, while Celtic supporters would view his presence as a symbol of dominance, a statement that their club is aiming higher than ever before. The rivalry, already rich in history and drama, would take on a new dimension, drawing global attention unlike anything seen before in Scottish football. International broadcasters would line up to showcase the fixture, and neutral fans from far-flung corners of the world would suddenly develop a vested interest in what happens on those heated afternoons in Glasgow. Neymar could transform the Old Firm from a local battle with global resonance into a truly international spectacle. In the end, whether or not the deal materializes, the rumor itself has already achieved something remarkable. It has reignited a sense of wonder around Celtic and Scottish football. Supporters who had grown used to routine transfer sagas are now daring to dream of the extraordinary, discussing not just players from smaller leagues, but one of the most recognizable figures in the sport. It shows the enduring power of football rumors, how a single whisper can set entire communities buzzing with excitement, hope, and debate. If Neymar walks through the doors at Celtic Park, history will be made, and the story will be told for generations. If he doesn't, the mere thought of it will still linger as one of those magical what-ifs that make football so captivating. Either way, the conversation has placed Celtic back in the spotlight, stirring emotions and sparking imaginations worldwide. And that, perhaps, is the beauty of the game, its ability to make us believe, even for a fleeting moment, that the impossible could actually come true in the most unexpected of places. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.